What's up? I'm here for a podcast, very interesting podcast. Rowan Drew's podcast. It's about Mindhunter inside the FBI's elite serial crime unit, written by John Douglas, non-fiction memoir. I got a special guest here. Beep, 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 beep. Gabe, he's here.
What's up?
He's here. We're going to talk about
I'm
this.
here.
It's a little podcast. All right. So I'm going to give you a little recap since you don't really know anything about it.
All right, what are we talking about?
So John Douglas. It's written by him. He's the author. Mm-hmm. It's basically like a memoir about his time in the serial crime unit. So he was like his career basically was he was like one of the first people into criminal profiling. Okay, so it's like the whole novel, like it's very interesting because it brings like the reader along like for a ride almost, right? You know what I'm saying?
Like a
it's
roller
like a roller coaster,
like
yeah.
Like a roller coaster.
Yeah. So basically, the criminal profiling aspect of this, which is like John Douglas's main thing here, it's basically like it's like techniques used to try to enter the criminal's mind, like psychological.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
So like it's like psychological warfare.
Right. It's like forensic techniques, but instead of like DNA and like ballistics and all that, blood spatter.
It's more psychological.
No. We don't like that over here. We don't like that. It's psychological. They get into the person's brain. They get deep into their brain and they figure out these things. And they basically what he's trying to do is trying to figure out like the reasons for why they committed the crimes they committed. Because like possibly they could have like mental illness or something, or maybe they were like had a terrible childhood. You know?
So how do they use this? Is this just like when they take them in? Like how do they start?
So it's when they're mainly when they're in jail. When the criminals are in jail, they'll talk to them. They'll like sit face to face with them and have these hours and hours of conversations. Try to enter their mind. Try to get in their mind.
Games with them.
Yeah, basically, it's mind games. So like, it's like behavioral forensics. You know, instead of like what you think it would. Like when you think of forensics, what do you think of?
Oh, you got like DNA evidence, fingerprint evidence. That's the main stuff.
Yeah.
And like all those different techniques, they use, maybe mainly. You think of crime shows?
Yeah. I mean, but crime shows aren't really like real. As Miss Hendricks says, crime shows, pardon my language, but they're BS is what they are. You know?
Baloney
socks. That's what it is. Baloney socks.
Oh my God.
So, do you have any questions? Any more questions?
I forget who John Douglas is, right?
Yeah.
FBI agent.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
And so, I do have a question about how long does this take to do this psychological profiling?
I mean, it's a very long process because imagine trying to tap into someone's mind, but a very complex mind, in like 30 minutes. You wouldn't be able to do it.
What? I guess, so like they do everything they ask you to do.
I mean, I think a lot of it
are they basically just trying to squeeze the truth out?
I think they're just trying to like have these conversations with these people, and like maybe by the way that they're sitting or something, or they can tell
to show off their body language.
Yeah.
They go through their body language and they figure out what this body language means and what the body language can show. Right.
Well, I mean, this book in general is major for like the field of forensic science, and especially criminal psychology and profiling. It's a major thing. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties. Coach Wade had to come to the bathroom back here, so we had to cut it. But let's continue. Yeah, we're back.
I do have a question.
Yeah. What's the question?
So I know we're talking about this psychological profiling and how Douglas did all this, right? He wrote this book,
right? Yeah.
And what's like a case that this is shown?
Well, one of the ones I talked about in my interpersonal was the Atlanta child murders. Have you heard about those?
No, I haven't.
So these occurred in the late 70s, early 80s. It's basically where like a whole bunch of, I think it was high 20 something, African American children and young adults, teenagers, some in their 20s, they were killed in Atlanta. Well, obviously, I mean, Atlanta child murders. Yeah, it's not good. And basically, the city was in a full panic because they didn't know who did it. They had no idea. So, City rung the phone and said, we have a case. It's a very interesting case, and we need your help, FBI. So they called the FBI. And John
hit their lineup.
Right, and then John Douglas
answers the phone.
Yes, and he's like, well, this is very interesting. I will gladly take up this case. So he uses criminal profiling. Obviously, he didn't have a chance to like talk to the criminal or whatever, but based off the facts of the case or whatever, because they didn't know who the criminal was. He basically predicted who the killer was, like not specifically, but like the type of person he was. So he predicted that the killer would be a black man in his mid-20s to 30s. And he also predicted, well, not predicted, but he figured out and thought that this person must be from Atlanta or live in Atlanta because they would need like a very, very good geographical sense of the city to be able to form a...
They gotta be from the big ATL.
28 people died.
That's a lot of people.
They had to be from the A.
You gotta know the streets to be figuring out where all these people are. You don't pull up in a random city and start killing kids.
No, that's...
you gotta have something.
Yeah, or I mean...
that's just awful, you know, like...
Yeah, he could have been there, he could have come, and then maybe spent like 6 months to a year there before he started his spree or whatever.
Yeah.
But Douglas also thought that this person was going to try to like appear as somebody who was trying to help the community to try to like put off the fact that he killed all these people.
Yeah.
He or she, at this point, we don't know who. So the outcome of this was the killer ended up being Wayne Williams, and he was a photographer and a music promoter. And he was caught after he dumped a body off a bridge. So he was dumping a body off a bridge, and they saw him.
Dude.
And you know what's crazy about this?
Off a bridge?
No, not that. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was any bridges in Atlanta, to be honest. But maybe they got rid of the bridge after that. No more bodies dumped in there. But what was crazy? Yeah, they had to. Douglas, his like prediction and his criminal profile was like perfect. Almost exactly perfect, as you know.
It sounded exactly like
he predicted that the guy was going to be of the local community. You know, he was going to be trying to appear as someone, you know, trying to help the community.
So it basically just matched up.
And he ended up being a freelance photographer and a music promoter. So it was perfect.
It just like he already had an idea.
So this shows you how this like forensic psychology criminal profiling can, you know, it can almost be better than physical evidence, you know?
You can just kind of, but there is the question, you know, I was wondering about this because, you know, I love how Douglas figured this out about this profiling and using the psychological profiling.
Yeah.
Do you think this could also lead into false accusations and which can cause false convictions?
Yeah, but like in this specific case, we got the profiling up, and then they saw this guy dumping a body off a bridge. Mm-hmm. So obviously,
that already kind of... Yeah. But like, for example...
I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but yeah, go ahead.
For example, like, you know, let's say Douglas wasn't doing this, and they passed it on to a bad cop, you know, somebody that wasn't...
See, Douglas is the good cop. We're talking bad cop here.
Just like somebody that just gonna start profiling people in not good way.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Do you think this could be also...
I mean, that's also theoretical though, because Douglas was, you know,
the man.
He was the guy.
Okay, that does make sense. You know,
and I mean, it's just the Atlanta child murder just shows that he's right. You know, he knows what he's doing. So I mean,
is Douglas the only one that does this?
No, but he's the first of his field. Like he's
the founder. Like
not, I mean, kind of, but like he's just the guy.
Yeah.
You know, like
when you think about
the pioneer.
Like when you think about basketball, you think about Michael Jordan. You know,
LeBron James.
Like those are the guys.
Those are the guys. Yeah,
exactly.
He's one of those guys. He was like the pioneer. He's like George Washington. You know what I'm saying?
No way.
Slicky George. Slicky George. In this case, it's Slicky Douglas. So, you know.
Wow.
So we'll be back. We have a short ad break.
This segment of the podcast is sponsored by Dr. Pepper.
And we're back. Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
You want to take a swig?
Oh.
Let me know how it is.
Ooh, shit, crisp.
Ooh. Wow. Wow.
We love some Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, we do. All right, back to the case. We have a new case we're going to talk about here. Okay? This case of Edmund Kemper, otherwise known as the co-ed killer. Okay?
Co-ed killer.
Co-ed killer.
Got a little nickname for himself.
Yeah, he does.
What did he do?
What he did was he murdered 10 people in the 60s and 70s. It was like 10-ish years around that. He murdered some of his family members, which is just shocking. His grandparents, his mother, he spared his dad.
Not the fam.
Yeah, he spared his dad, and several young women. So clearly he's got something.
Edmund, man, Edmund.
So Edmund, a little background on
killing
Edmund. He was very interested in necrophilia. Necrophilia, disgusting act is what it is, and extreme violence.
Jesus.
So
he's already just messed
straight
up.
up, yeah, like he's just a messed up guy in the head. Like he doesn't really even have a reason for his killings, you know? He's just a cold blood killer is what he is. You all right? You all right over there?
Yeah, I got a little cough.
Okay, yeah. I might have another sip of that Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, that might help.
Okay, so basically, what happened was Kemper was charged for these crimes, and he was in prison. Right? He was in prison, and Douglas, you know, the pioneer in the field, criminal profiling and psychological, all that. He interviewed Kemper. Douglas did, while Kemper was in prison.
How did he get in prison?
For the killing.
Oh, so like they already caught him.
Yeah, they caught him.
They caught him. Yeah.
And what happened was he interviewed him. Douglas interviewed Kemper, and he said that Kemper was extremely like articulate, and he was smart, and he was very like self-aware about everything and all of his acts or whatever, which is it's a little interesting.
It's kind of a little concerning. Get him on it.
It makes him seem very intelligent. Yeah. So basically, Douglas's findings, they were very interesting. You want to know what they were?
What?
Basically, he like got Kemper to like say that he had like this urge to kill. Kemper had this urge to kill from a young age, and he was extremely interested in targeting vulnerable women. Right? Which is like disgusting is what it is. But it just shows that Douglas was able to like, get this out of him, you know? Like, asked him all the right questions, maybe made him
broke it down,
made him feel safe, like broke him down, like, I don't know.
Douglas is like a psychologist. Like
he is. He's very smart with what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. And, you know, to be able to get like a almost not really confession, but like kind of a confession.
Set your phone up.
Very interesting, I thought. So
I wonder how long it took.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I'm sure it took quite a while. And I also wonder, this is just a wonder of mine, is that, like, do you think that they had conversations about other things as well? Like, do you think maybe they were talking about, like, the weather today? Maybe they were talking,
I
or
think
like,
they did.
maybe like apple pies.
Just talking about their favorite foods.
Yeah, they might have had just.
Have you ever seen, you know how people get investigated for crimes and ask these questions, right? Not like Douglas, but like they'll do all like the certain things. They'll be like offer him water, offer him certain snacks.
Try to see how they react to these things.
Yeah.
So maybe think he like gained his trust by like asking about his personal life, maybe.
I think so. It just started kind of like showed empathy and maybe just kind of talked to him in a certain way.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So we'll be back with another one in just a sec. We're back, and we have a special guest. Jason in the building.
Sliding by.
You know he had to do it. All right, we'll see you later. We'll see you later, Jay.
Hey, Miss Hendricks.
Okay. Next case.
Oh, we're talking about a new case.
Another case. The third case we're going to talk about. The Trailside Killer. Okay?
Who?
Trailside Killer. Interesting name, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So here's the overview on the case and everything. So basically, Trailside Killer, he was known for killing and also assaulting hikers in California. guess there's a lot of hiking trails.
Yeah. You know, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I need to visit sometime.
Yeah, man, like the mountains of California. All right, we're getting off topic.
Yes.
Okay. The early 1980s is when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they didn't really know who it was. It was kind of mysterious because you just find these dead bodies.
It's all in the woods,
trails,
right?
I mean, it could have been a bear. It could have been a python, something.
Yeah.
Something was going to get to it, yeah. But so Douglas did his profiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different from the last one, but similar to the first one in that they didn't really know who it was when they're going to profile it. So his prediction was pretty interesting. He thought it was going to be somebody with a stutter and an obsession with control, which is a little strange. I mean,
It's a little bit strange.
as well as history of sexual violence.
So he just already had these thoughts in mind.
Yeah, this is what Douglas was thinking at the time. So yeah, it was very strange, and
Did he ever get caught? Like, how did he get caught?
he did get caught. So the guy's name, David Carpenter.
Uh-huh.
He fit like the Douglas's like description perfectly, and he had previously been arrested for attempted rape.
Oh, so he's already been...
And guess what else?
What?
He had a stutter.
Oh my.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know. Do you know how he does it, Jay? He has no idea. No one has that.
No.
It's pretty crazy.
So he just knew
Yeah.
off the bat. He had some profiling. He had some, I guess, the information that he had. He broke it down, and that's what fit best.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So he eventually got arrested, and his conviction was, you know, it showed that Douglas's profiling yet again was good, and it was credible in the eyes of the law, because I mean it's been perfect every time. So
Yeah. I mean, just because he was hiking, do you think he was able to just like? How did he figure out that he had a stutter? That's what I'm wondering.
yeah, I'm caught on that too. I mean,
like
he's like a wizard. He's like a psychology wizard.
I guess he has a. Yeah, I wonder how he does it.
But you know, this just shows like that it's like this is a very credible source. Like it's a very credible use of forensic techniques. Like,
And I feel like now they use it a lot because I feel like
yeah.
I hear other people using.
I mean,
the
I feel like
strategy
just criminal psychology in general.
I guess like not I don't know, not trending or.
Yeah, but you know, like
I think it's just more popular used. You know.
yeah, I mean, you see these like interviews. Like I'm interested in this type of thing, so sometimes I watch some documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with Julia, shout out Julia, and like all these show like, you know, them talking to the people that they think, like all the suspects, and they're using all these like techniques.
They're always just trying to push for the truth.
Yeah.
Do you think this is this where it came from originally? Like
I think he was one of the pioneers of this for sure. Yeah, he definitely. Yeah, I mean, like Slicky George, basically.
You know,
Had to be
Slicky George.
Yeah.
Shout out Slicky George.
Shout out Slicky George.
God bless America.
We'll be back. We need to take a quick intermission, and we'll be back. So, what are your overall thoughts on this case? On this book, not this
On
case.
this book? Oh, you know, now that I know about Douglas, shout out Douglas because he's great.
Shout out Douglas. I'm thinking about like making like a mural or something on my wall of Douglas. Like he's pretty sick.
He's the goat.
He is the goat.
I
Yeah.
think he's the goat.
He's up there with Slicky George for sure. But yeah.
I think this book, you know, I might have to take a peek now. You know, I'm in like.
Yeah, you're interested.
Yeah, because like, I wonder how this criminal psychology actually works.
Yeah. You might have to read it. It was a good read.
Bro,
for
Maddie,
sure.
Maddie Fitz playing on the 2 seats.
Yeah. So, you got any questions?
I do have some. I have a couple questions. Yeah. Was profiling always accepted in the law enforcement? Like before Douglas even started doing this, like
That's a good question. Yeah.
I know he's a pioneer, but like, I wonder how did this profiling start?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a ton about this in the book. But there was a little bit, and basically the consensus is not really. It wasn't really accepted because in the early days of all this, before like, especially like in the beginning of Douglas's time too, before they realized that it works.
Yeah.
People thought it was just like guesswork. Like people thought that he was just guessing. You know?
Yeah.
Like just taking a little guess at it. But then they.
It must have been him.
Yeah.
Him or him.
Yeah. But there was a lot of skepticism, but you know, it turned out to be a very valuable asset.
He was able to switch around, show that it's this profiler actually works.
Yeah. Anything else?
And what's the difference between an organized and a disorganized killer? Just from this book, I feel like because you are talking about the psychological.
Yeah. Well,
and an organized killer and a disorganized killer, I feel like there's two different minds going on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think to start off, I mean, organized. I think they're very intelligent to start. You know, they know what they're doing. They plan out their crimes like super carefully and perfectly almost. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the time they have good IQs, very high IQs, and they try to be in control of it all.
Yeah.
I mean, partially, I'll never do anything like this. I'm just saying, like, if you plan it out perfectly, then you don't have to worry about it as much. You know what I'm saying?
It's not this like stress factor.
Yeah,
I guess for the person.
Well, and then we'll talk about disorganized here. I think a lot of the times it's like mentally ill. You know,
Which ones?
like disorganized killers.
Yeah.
And I think they're mentally ill. Like,
and they're just doing what
everything's on impulse.
There's no thinking behind it.
They're just like, okay. I mean, maybe they could be on drugs too.
Yeah.
And they just like see something, like they see like a random girl walking on the road. They're like, I'm gonna kill her or something like that. You know?
Yeah.
And then I mean, often in cases like that,
you get pissed off at something.
Yeah. Often in cases like that, it's complete opposite from the organized, because they don't leave like the crime scene looking good. Like there's a lot of evidence at the crime scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is a very interesting book. I'd recommend for sure.
I need to take a peek. Thank you for letting me hop on your podcast.
Well, thank you for your time, sir. This was a great podcast.
I loved it. And I hope we're going to have a part 2 in the coming future.
Oh, for sure. We're going to do part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh.
Maybe go on beyond that.
Just become crime.
Yeah, we're going to name it Crime Podcast G and R. That's what we're going to name it.
That's great.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
All right.
Adios.